At a news conference at the city's Office of Emergency Management and Communications headquarters, city officials reminded all Chicagoans to prepare for upcoming extreme weather conditions. Here are highlights of the November 10th news conference.
We've gathered together once again to present you Chicago's cold weather preparedness for the upcoming winter weather. OEMC is prepared to enact our extreme weather plan as the need arises this winter, by staffing our operations center with various departments to provide unified response and coordination of efforts, sending out extreme weather alerts via Notify Chicago and providing media updates. Our 911 and 311 systems are ready to assist in emergencies and provide necessary information to the public in regarding the heating, health, and water problems or any other cold weather issues. Our Notify Chicago Alert program has been updated to allow subscriptions to register for weather-related notifications on a yearly basis rather than a 90-day basis. Those wishing to subscribe can go to our website, www.notifychicago.org, to receive notification of extreme weather. Now I'd like to present Mayor Richard M. Daley.
Thank you very much, Mayor Roscoe. The temperature had been mild recently, but we all know that cold weather will be arriving very shortly. Today I'm asking all Chicago residents to watch out for each other, use the common sense, and work with the city to make this winter a safe season for everyone. It's our shared responsibility to look out to each other all the time, but particularly in the extreme weather conditions we often experience during winter in Chicago. Even though we are facing tough economic times, our proposed budget maintains the essential services that help all residents, but especially those who need it, get through the winter. During these tough times, people demand more from government, not less. More than ever, we need to fight for Chicago's working, middle-class people, and all people who are poor here in the city of Chicago as well. Our budget uses funds from the parking meter lease to invest in urgent needs, including some that are especially important during these winter months, and most of you do not feel that. For example, last week we announced that we use up to $1 million from the Parking Meter Human Infrastructure Fund and other sources to help create the Energy Action Network, which will expand winter heating assistance services at 21 locations across the city. At these locations, people will be able to apply for a range of services provided by the Federal Low-Income Home Energy Assistance Program, the Share the Warmth Program, ComEd's Residential Special Hardship Program, and others. I'm increasingly concerned that many families may not be able to pay their winter heating bills, and that the number of families who cannot pay them this year may be higher than ever. But the city and its partners are providing much help. No one should be left in the cold this winter. In addition, will be used money from the Parking Meter Human Infrastructure Fund to support other services that are important in cold weather. We will increase spending for home delivery meals to seniors to serve an additional 100,000 meals, provide new funding for homeless shelter beds, increase funding for the city's plan to end homelessness, provide funding for emergency food boxes. As always, we ask our citizens to be patient during snow clearing operations. Always drive with extra caution when there is ice or snow on the ground. This winter, we are using technology in new and better ways to help us improve our snow clearing. We'll demonstrate some of it a little later. For example, we have enhanced our capabilities of GPS tracking and mapping to help move all the equipment used in the snow program around the city as effectively as possible. In cooperation with the Office of Emergency Management and Communication, we are expanding our use of the city's safety cameras to help track snow plowing operations. In partnership with the state and suburban cities, we are dramatically expanding our network of sensors to monitor road conditions throughout the region. This will give us a much broader and more accurate picture of road conditions during a storm. I want to remind all the residents that landlords are required to heat their buildings to at least 68 degrees during the day, 66 degrees at night. If the landlord refuses, tenants can call 311. The building department will step in immediately. The Department of Health reminds residents to limit time you spend in very cold temperatures. Don't let children play outside for long periods of time. Wear several layers of loose, warm clothing and stay dry, of course. These are very simple things, but if we don't do them, the cold weather can take its toll on people. Our Department of Family and Support Services, the Mayor's Office of People with Disabilities, conduct well-being checks by telephone to persons who register for the program, and we're asking more and more people to register for these programs. Our 6 community service centers will function as warming centers, as they do every winter. We're prepared to turn senior centers, library branches, and Park District field houses into warming centers as the need arises. Our main warming center is 10 South Kedzie, is open 24 hours a day. Anyone who needs a ride to a warming center just needs to call 311. Of course, all residents can find out how to get help with cold weather-related problems by calling our 311 center. Don't forget that the city can provide extreme weather alerts on cell phones and handheld computers of anyone who signs up for our Notify Chicago program. But the most important thing we can do during the winter is to check regularly on the well-being of all our friends, our relatives, and neighbors who live alone, who are elderly, or have a disability. If you are concerned about someone but cannot contact them, call 311, and the Department of Family and Support Services will check on them. Many of our department heads are here today to answer your questions. The city is well prepared to deal with the coming winter. Well, we can all do our job more effectively if everyone uses common sense and lends a helping hand during the winter. Thank you.
All of us can stay safe in cold weather, but we absolutely must take common sense precautions. Specifically, Chicagoans should avoid making unnecessary trips outside. If the task can wait till the weather is warmer, then wait. If you go outside into the cold, especially in cases when the wind chill index is well below 0, limit the time you stay outside. Break longer tasks into shorter ones and with indoor rest periods in between. And do not let children play outside for long periods of time. As the mayor's already said, wear several layers of loose, warm clothing. Pay special attention to keeping your head, ears, hands, and feet warm. Wear a hat, scarf, gloves, thick socks, and winter boots. Stay dry because moisture from perspiration or from melting snow can damage the insulating effectiveness of clothes. That's because water conducts body heat faster than air. Pay special attention to your body's daily needs. Get enough sleep, eat 5 servings of fruits and vegetables a day, and drink at least 8 glasses of water every day. Drink warm beverages and soup to help your body stay warm. Avoid alcoholic beverages, which can impair your judgment. Alcohol also dilates blood vessels, which makes the body lose heat faster. Finally, check regularly on the well-being of friends, relatives, and neighbors who live alone and who are elderly or have a disability. This is a time when it is especially important, as the mayor's already said, for all of us to look out for each other. In addition to talking about cold weather, I've been asked to give an update on our efforts to fight H1N1 in Chicago. While all of us are aware that the national productions of vaccines have fallen short of projections made by federal officials, I want to assure everyone that a steady supply of H1N1 vaccine comes into Chicago every week. We received our first allocation of vaccine on September 30th, and since then, we have distributed over 400,000 doses of vaccines to over 500 facilities, which are hospitals, paramedics, primary care clinics, pediatric and obstetrical practices, colleges and university health services, and more. We have given top priority to healthcare facilities that care for children, pregnant women, and the chronically ill. And as you know, we are coordinating public immunization clinics for Chicago's residents who do not have healthcare providers or whose healthcare providers do not have vaccine. These clinics have been open 3 days a week at 6 of our city colleges, and we've expanded to a 7th site, Malcolm X, on Saturdays. Since we started these clinics on October 24th, we have successfully vaccinated nearly 57,000 men, women, and children, and by 8 o'clock tonight, that figure will go well above 60,000 people. These clinics are a vivid example of public health work at its best. We are preventing disease and even saving lives. We are asking that only Chicago residents at increased risk get vaccinated at these clinics. Those at increased risks are pregnant women, all children and young adults 6 months to 24 years old, people who live with and/or care for younger people younger than 6 months of age, people 25 to 64 with chronic health conditions like asthma or diabetes, and healthcare workers. Beyond vaccination, all of us need to stay focused on the commonsensical, good hygiene we've been preaching since last spring. And by that I mean make an extra effort to cover your coughs and sneezes and wash your hands regularly with soap and water. Stay home from work or school if you have influenza-like symptoms, coughing, sore throat, and a fever. Remind parents of young children to teach their good health habits to their sons and daughters and plan ahead to make home care arrangements for their children on days when they are ill or should be kept home from school or daycare. Finally, I want to reiterate that what we have been saying since the spring, that while the flu is always a cause for concern, this year and every year, it is not a cause for alarm. So let's all stay calm, patient, and focused. Thank you.
As the mayor said, our 6 service centers will be open during inclement weather, as well as the 10 South Kedzie Center will be open 24 hours as it is every day. Transportation is available to seniors and disabled residents, and what they need to do is call 311 for assistance. Outreach to the homeless population expands during cold weather months. As dangerous weather conditions develop, additional teams are deployed. Our teams will work to engage the homeless residents living out of doors and encourage them to take advantage of available shelters and services. Approximately 5,000 beds are available in more than 90 shelters across the city. Transportation to a shelter is always available by calling 311. We encourage all Chicagoans to check relatives, as the mayor said, friends and neighbors during cold weather months and extreme weather. Senior citizens and those with health problems are most at risk. The Department of Senior Services in our department will begin making over 3,000 calls to Chicago's most vulnerable seniors and utilize existing initiatives such as Mayor Daley's Wellbeing Task Force and the Meals on Wheels program to notify seniors about expectant weather and provide support and assistance when necessary. What happens during this time is a firefighter, someone from the Department of the Mayor's Office with People with Disabilities, or someone from our department will check on anyone who's been registered. So we ask you again to ask families and people to register themselves or their loved ones. We're asking you to serve as our eyes and ears, and if there are any problems at all, please call 311. Thank you.
Tom Byrne, Commissioner Department of Streets and Sanitation.
We are well prepared for another Chicago winter. We have more than 380,000 tons of salt on hand, and that number will climb to 425,000 tons of salt by December 1st. We are also in good shape with our fleet of snow fighting trucks. The same trucks that we use to clear our roadways are used by CDOT to pave our roadways during the non-winter months. As soon as construction season ends, the conversion begins from asphalt to snow fighting trucks begins. We now have 228 snow fighting trucks ready to go and are adding additional trucks daily. During a storm, we can typically put up to 274 trucks on the street, which is a 100% program. We also have a fleet of 24 smaller plows, snow tigers, and 4x4s that we use on side streets that are too narrow to accommodate a full-size truck. We can also convert 200 garbage trucks into temporary plows if we are needed by adding quick hitch plows to the front of the trucks. The snow clearing plan is essentially the same as it has always been. We focus on keeping the main streets and Lakeshore Drive clear, and once a storm subsides, we will move into the side streets. We have also been incorporating new technology into our snow clearing operations, and we'll demonstrate in a few minutes what that can do. Please be reminded that the winter overnight parking will begin at 3 a.m. on Tuesday, December 1st. The ban will be strictly enforced along 23 priority routes, over 107 miles of streets from December 1st to April 1st, between the hours of 3 a.m. and 7 a.m., regardless of snow. Signs warning against parking overnight during the seasonal period are permanently posted on the streets, on those routes. Motorists should also be prepared to observe the 2-inch snow restriction posted along a broader 500-mile snow route system. Motorists who park on these permanently signed routes after 2 inches of snow have fallen risk a chance of ticket and vehicle relocation to nearby neighborhoods we enact the program. The easiest way to avoid problems is to pay attention to the permanently posted signs and try to locate a safe and legal parking space for your car during the winter months. Finally, we want to encourage Chicagoans to be good neighbors and to work together during the winter months. Getting through a Chicago winter can be a challenge, but it is a challenge that is much more easily met when we all work together. Above me are 9 screens of Randolph Street from Columbus Drive westbound all the way to Halsted. I want to show you a demonstration of how effectively these cameras are going to help us in our snow operation. There you are in the second clip up there. It'll go into the third one momentarily and go through those 9 cameras. What that'll effectively do is that'll give us the operations upstairs to view these streets to make sure that we can see what the plow is pushing and what the salt dispensing on the street is. Also, we will have less supervisors on the street that we can observe and supervise from the upstairs location.
There's some pilot testing that's going to start next week. The devices that'll be on there will be able to tell blade up, blade down on the plow, and how much salt is being dispensed along with the weight that's in the truck also.